Well, thanks everybody for being here. I'm happy for this moment. I'm happy for, the support that Omaha has been giving me over the years. I would say I'm blessed. It's been a roller coaster, but, we made it to the top. No matter how we made it, and, it's definitely a test to say that anything is possible if you, work hard at it and you believe in yourself and you have the faith to keep going no matter what the obstacles is put in front of you, and you can achieve anything. So, I practice that to the kids because, coming from Omaha, nobody thinks you're capable of doing extraordinary, well, you know what I'm trying to say. Kind of nervous. The big stuff. Yeah, you know what I mean? So they just think small town, we don't have no great athletes. We don't have no great actors, rappers, nothing. They just look over us and everything that we do. And most of the people that make it from Omaha, they don't come and give back, or they leave and don't turn around and look back. So it was very important for me to stay in Omaha to give those young individuals hope and to be able to see, a person that's at the top of the world in a craft and in a sport, to be able to say he's still here and I can actually physically see him and touch him, and to know that it's possible. So, I think that's very...
From the very first words, you can feel the emotion pour out. This isn't just a celebration. It's a declaration of resilience. The fighter opens his heart to the community that raised him, acknowledging the uphill battle and the doubts cast on anyone trying to make it from a small town. It's more than a speech. It's a testimony of turning struggle into motivation. An unfiltered message of hope that hits deeper than any headline ever could.
Critical for these young individuals because when you're looking at them, they just need an outlet and motivation. And I'm that motivation for them to, succeed in whatever it is in life. They see me and they look at hope. They say, oh, that's hope. If he can do it, I can do it. And that's my main thing, is I want to have them, believing in themselves and knowing that, they can come from anywhere in the world and they still can succeed. So,
Here, the energy shifts to unity and mutual respect. Even after defeating one of Mexico's greatest, he embraces the Latino community like family. It's a strong, grounded moment that cuts through rivalry and borders. He doesn't just talk boxing, he talks about what matters: respect, culture, and standing together beyond the ring. This part speaks volumes about character, and that kind of authenticity.
Thank y'all for coming out. We're gonna have a great parade, and we're gonna, we're gonna party later on tonight. I hope all y'all come, and we're gonna have a good day today. So let's celebrate, and enjoy one another, and that's it.
Community of Omaha that are behind you and in your corner, since even though you were fighting Canelo, one of the biggest Mexican boxers, and there were a lot of people from the Mexican community that were behind you and cheering you on.
It's the same thing, I appreciate them. It's no different because they Latino. Like I said, I've been, locked in with the Latino community since I started boxing. So, the Latinos is just like any other, race. We all one at the end of the day. We got to support each other and look at each other like brothers and sisters.
But first off, congrats on the...
You went against me, huh?
What's that?
You went against me?
No, I picked you, but...
I mean...
I wanted to talk to you about, looking at the accomplishment, have you had a chance to look back at the fight? If you did, what sticks out to you about the fight that maybe didn't stick out to you in the moment of fighting Canelo?
Nothing sticked out to me because, I was in the moment. So I understood everything that was going on. There was some surprises, I can say that, but, me being in that moment and knowing everything that was going on when it was happening, it was like everything just slowed down to me at that moment.
Have you given thought about like what other goal or challenge seems interesting to you?
To be honest, no. I just been chilling, you know. I've been on a pew 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 since the fight, so you know, I really ain't had time to even decompress, really. So I ain't got time to think about my next move or anything.
Omaha has always been behind you.
Now we get a glimpse into the quiet after the storm. He opens up about the post-fight whirlwind, the lack of time to reflect, the emotional overload. This isn't your typical chest-pounding victory lap. It's raw honesty from a man still trying to catch his breath. You realize here that glory isn't always celebration. Sometimes it's silence, exhaustion, and a surreal sense of, did that really happen?
You know, when it comes to today, having the parade, having all the officials here, and to be celebrating you, and you're talking about giving back, to have Omaha giving back to you in the state of Nebraska, giving back to you, what does that mean today?
It means everything, you know, because me putting Omaha on my back since I was a kid, you know, fighting in at the Quest Center in 2006, and everybody coming out to support me as a kid, you know, and me taking that in the ring as a professional, and every fight that I fought in, I'm repping my city and my state, Omaha, because when you look at all these other states and stuff like that, they say, oh, well, I'm from New York, or I'm from Texas, I'm from Chicago, I'm from Omaha, you know, so I'm gonna rep my city just like everybody around the world rep their city. So, you know, I love that Omaha is supporting me, and I, you know, love them, you know, and we support.
Pride takes the spotlight in this clip. Not ego, but that deep-rooted pride in the soil you come from. He talks about repping Omaha like it's stitched to his soul. This isn't just local loyalty. It's a lifetime of memories, fights, and fans bundled into one powerful expression. It's the kind of tribute that reminds you why every champion is more than a name. They're a symbol for the people behind them.
Each other.
If I can follow up, just what does today mean also in terms of, like, you've been talking about, you've been all over doing press tours and everything else, but does today kind of feel like an exhale almost of, like, now I get to just have fun and enjoy back in your city?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I said, man, we gonna have a good time tonight, you know? I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the parade. I'm kind of mad that it's a whole bunch of construction going on. You know, it's hard to get down here. But, you know what I mean?
Now we're in the heart of the narrative. He addresses the critics, the excuses, the silence that follows his victories. This isn't bitterness, it's clarity. When you're too good, people stop giving you credit. They reach for reasons instead. But here he says what so many greats have felt, that true recognition often comes too late. It's a sobering, powerful reflection that leaves a lasting.
Yes, it definitely does. But we gonna make it do what it do, and I'm expecting a great turnout today.
Hey, Terence. Normally when people watch all-time breaks, they don't really always know until it's at the end. And there's always that saying that you never really, appreciate someone until like they're better.
Things take a more relaxed turn here, but there's still weight in his words. When asked about dream matchups, he pushes back on recycled questions, showing confidence and a bit of fatigue from media routines. It's quick, it's sharp, and it reminds you that this isn't just a fighter. He's a human being navigating a media storm. A moment of levity with a slice of realness.
Do you kind of relate to that quote? And on top of it, do you feel like, especially today, that you're getting your flowers as that all-time?
Yeah, for sure. But it's still, when you look at it, it's still excuses. Like I said before the fight, every one of my biggest fights, I say, I'm going to be prepared for the excuses. When you so great and you so much ahead of your competition, they look at the fighters that you fight and say they nobodies because how much you beat them by or the level of skills that you oppose against them. So when I fight this guy, it's all he was a nobody. When I fight this guy, all he was washed. When I fight this guy, it's an excuse, you know. So who you want me to fight? I beat this guy, it's an excuse. I beat this guy, you know, he's too young or whatever. So I'm never really going to give my full respect until afterwards. Yes, you know, it's a lot of people that's changing their narrative. Like, man, y'all watching something.
Discipline. That's the core here. He lays out exactly what separates good from great. Not just talent, but obsession, focus, and listening to your team. You see the mindset behind the success. It's not the punches that win fights. It's the preparation. A must-hear for anyone chasing a goal. What you hear here could apply to boxing, business, or life. Pure gold.
Something great right now, and we not appreciating it. And it's sad to say that we waking up at the tail end of his career. You know, we really didn't realize it until now, when he's like doing extraordinary stuff, like going up 2 weight classes to fight the best fighter in that division, the #1 guy that's the face of boxing, you know. And the way that I handled that, people like, oh man, something had to be wrong. Canelo had to be washed, or Canelo just wasn't in it. I see people saying, oh, Turkey paid for Canelo to lose, you know. So I just think, you know, when you that much better than the competition, you know, people not going to give you credit until they sit down and look at it and just be like, man, that dude was good.
Last one.
Hey, Bud, it's Box Office Dom. You distinguish yourself among all your peers with that phenomenal win. I'm not sure there's another name that can elevate you further. So if you could fight any fighter from any era, who would it be and why?
Why everybody always asks me that question?
And just like that, it ends. Simple thank you. No showboating, no overkill. Just appreciation, sincerity, and a quiet close to a loud journey. Sometimes the most powerful mic drops are the ones you barely hear. If you felt the impact of these words, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one.
Hey, everybody. Yeah, give me a different one, because I'm like...
But how important is preparation for you, and what advice did Bomac hammer in with you, or maybe what tape resonated with you the most in the lead-up?
I think preparation is everything. You know, if you prepare to the best of your abilities, you know, great things is gonna come from that. You know, I always say hard work beat talent when talent don't work hard. So if you talented, you know, without the work ethic, you know, somebody can outwork you that want it more. You know, so you gotta have everything all in sync. You know, you gotta work hard, especially when you at the top, because everybody gunning from you. Everybody working extremely hard to dethrone you, you know. And in camp, Bomac and them just basically was just telling me stay disciplined, you know. Stay disciplined, because knowing me, I'm a fighter. You know, I like to fight, so sometimes I get hit, you know, I'll be like, oh, I need to get that back, let's go. You know, so it's all about staying disciplined, stay composed, and listening to your team and having faith in them.
All right,
How
thanks
does
everyone.
5 division
Thanks,
champion
everyone.